Here we go. Hello, hello, hello. This is Ray Felix. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Bronx Heroes Comic-Con Live. We are now live on Twitch, YouTube, and here on Facebook. Still trying to figure out how to do the whole Instagram thing. And TikTok and all that stuff, trying to link it in. But in time, we'll see what happens. So I don't know about you guys, but it was a busy week for me. I'm just so glad the week's over. Oh, I just needed a stretch and get this, shake this work week off. It was rough. Spent a little too much time watching television, way too much. Yesterday, Jupiter's Legacy dropped on Netflix, and oh my God. I don't know if you guys ever read the comic book. It was great. It just took too long to come out. Like I remember like one issue took like 1 year to come out, and my son Indigo reminded me about that. So I had since forgotten. But yeah, I mean, great comic book, great story, but I mean, come on, let's get it together now. So I'm glad that Netflix released a show like the Millar World, you know, as if people may or may not know, Mark Millar, was originally like I guess a ghostwriter or an understudy of Grant Morrison, who was a phenomenal writer. And then he came into his own, did the Ultimates, which the Avengers movies were based off of the first one. And then he did Kick-Ass and a bunch of other stuff. And no, he's not on here tonight. I wish. But we have somebody cooler. We have Jerry Ma coming on in a few minutes. And that's going to be really awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Jerry Ma is a really cool guy. I don't know if you guys know anything about him, but I'm going to share my screen and we could learn about Jerry Ma. He's doing all sorts of cool stuff. I mean, he has this Kickstarter campaign. This is he has a new book called The Monkey King on his Twitter. If you go to Twitter, and and he has this great Kickstarter, which is doing well. I mean, he has 181 backers. He's raised $15,000. Pretty impressive. And that was just 27 days ago. So, pretty impressive stuff. So I'm going to pick his brain because I'm dying to do a Kickstarter. I just haven't gotten the strength up to do it, I chickened out. I did an Indiegogo years ago. It didn't go off well. And after that, I was just like, I'm done with this social stuff, But, I'm getting hope. We had Sam Vera, who did very well on Kickstarter. And I've talked to other people who did really good Kickstarters. So yeah, go contribute, man. I mean, all you got to do is click on there. Boom, you're there. You get right into his campaign. You can donate, all this cool stuff. But I'm going to stop talking about that. Let Jerry talk about that. And he also has a lot of cool stuff. Like he has this T-shirt company, which is pretty amazing. Let me get out of some of these windows. There's a really cool T-shirt company. And take a look at some of his art. I mean, this is some of the Monkey King art that's going to be in the book. And again, I'm not going to say much about it. Let Jerry introduce that. But I mean, just overall, looking at this gentleman's website, this creator, it's not just comic books. He's like taking it to the next level. I mean, he has a really cool website, first of all. Really cool website. I mean, he's got these T-shirts on sports. If you're like a sports fan, if you love basketball, he has a lot of cool stuff. He does he has stuff for films and shows. He does this great graphic design, great posters. I And I'm always for supporting the arts, and you should too. I mean, take a look at some of the commission art he did. Dazzler. Anybody knows me? I love Dazzler. I love it. I mean, he does some really cool stuff, and he has these graphic T-shirts. Like, look at this shirt, Shay Shay. I mean, how cool is that? It's really cool. Really cool. Awesome stuff. I mean, this guy is just amazing. Forget about it. Look at that. Oh my God. You can see how cool is that? Ali and Bruce Lee. I mean, can't wait to meet him. So I haven't currently met Jerry. This is going to be our first time meeting each other. And it's going to be pretty neat because, my buddy Alan from back in the days of Mocha introduced him to me, via Messenger. We had our virtual meetup, but we haven't spoken to each other like you and I are talking, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of excited. It's anyone knows me, it's hard for me to get excited, but let me stop sharing this now. He's really cool stuff. Check it out. Support him. epicprops.com. Really cool stuff. What can I tell you? It's just amazing stuff. You should definitely 100% support this creator. Great artwork, man. So anyway, before it kicks in, we have like a few more minutes before he kicks in. So I just wanted to mention Jupiter's Legacy, how awesome it was. It was a great show. I literally sat there and watched it. I wasted all this time that I could have been drawing myself and working on stuff. But instead I was just watching this show, and I was like, episode 7, and I'm like, and then waking up, episode 8. Oh. So I still have to watch those last 2 episodes. I mean, I got through 7 after waking up many times, and it was ridiculous. I'm like, what am I doing to myself? I should be drawing. Time is essential, and the older you get, time is limited. So I mean, really, you should. If you're a comic book creator, like a part-time creator like myself, you really need to jump in on here. But here we go. We got Alan, the guy who's made this happen, making the magic happen. Come on in, Alan. Hey.
How's it going, Ray?
Going good, man. How you doing?
Good to be on.
So I was talking about Jupiter's Legacy a second ago. Have you seen that show yet? It just dropped yesterday.
So I have to admit that I have not watched the show, but I'm a Mark Millar completist.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that he writes, I read, especially when he teams up with Frank Quitely. I'm like, all right, those are that.
You're in.
Dude, look at All-Star Superman. It was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's amazing. Let me ask you something. Who do you like better, Grant Morrison or Mark Millar?
I think that Grant Morrison tells kookier stories. I think that Mark Millar, his stories are closer to the cuff. Like, he just likes telling superhero stories, like with some twists and stuff. And he doesn't really push things to the edge.
Right.
Like, even like if you look at Superman Red Sun, right? Like Superman Red Sun, he could have been a lot more badass than he was.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So like Grant Morrison's definitely the kookiest of them. I mean,
yeah.
I just got done reading the final issue of Grant Morrison's run of the Doom Patrol.
Oh, great. Yeah. It's awesome, right?
And his last issue, they did a whole like spin on Image Comics. And it was fantastic. And then a few weeks later, do you know Ed Piskor?
No, I never met him.
But I mean, you know his work, right? You know Ed Piskor does.
What did he work on?
He did the hip hop comic Family Tree.
Oh yeah, I got all that. I got the whole collection. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's phenomenal. But he has a YouTube show.
Oh really?
I'm not trying to promote other shows because this is
That's
only
okay. I don't care.
this is the only show for me on YouTube.
Yeah.
But he did one. He does shows where they deconstruct the comic books, and I love that.
That's
and
cool.
he did one of Grant Morrison, the last issue of the Doom Patrol, and it's just phenomenal. Like I love Ed Piskor, and I love. I mean, one of the reasons I like being on the show with you, Ray, is being able to talk comics.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I never read Invincible, but I just saw the cartoon that Amazon did, and I thought that was so pretty cool. You know, it was just like, I feel like we're like overwhelming with the superhero stuff. It's like too much, but at the same time, I'm like loving it at the same time. I'm like, it's like,
Are you feeling overwhelmed with the superhero stuff right now?
I have been for years, to be honest. I was kind of sick of superhero stuff. I was like, not another movie, but honestly, it's a new genre. It was not new. I mean, we've had superhero movies since we were kids, but I mean, I guess it's more of a new genre where non-comic book readers are interested as well as comic book readers. I think that's the difference. When the movies used to drop in the 80s and stuff, those are mostly fans watching it, and they're, but you didn't have that $1 billion box office with the first Batman movie or The Shadow or The Phantom or anything like that. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting, to see how it's evolving. And, grandmothers know who Stan Lee is, it's like, oh, that old man, he's sexy, like that's like a.
And what do you think helped change that? Like who do you like what intellectual property do you think made that possible?
Well, I know that, people give credit to Marvel, but, Dark Horse did a lot of movies, back in the day that people probably didn't recognize as comic book movies. But if you read comic books like Darkman, that was pretty big. That was a big deal. And they were making movies even after they stopped going to the theater. They were still making these movies straight to DVD. And I mean, there's so many movies out there that other companies did, and I guess Marvel's eating the cake and taking credit for it. But I mean, Marvel was the last ones to get into the films. I mean, Warner Brothers were making comic movies. Dick Tracy. I just saw Dick Tracy, and what's funny, it's an awesome film. And I remember not even liking it in the theater. Like, I thought it was too corny, but I watched it recently, and I was like, this is such a great film. What did I hate about it? It's like. But and I think I would like to see a Batman movie shot like Dick Tracy, like a Dick Sprang Batman movie.
Absolutely. But I mean, I thought like 89, Batman 89 was really close. To me, like Dick Tracy with Madonna and it was very close. I think they were trying to keep, in my opinion, the same dynamic that Batman 89 had. They weren't trying to go off that path.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think so. And all the Batman movies are so different. Somebody who told me this. Somebody was saying about DC, like Batman specifically, like now they're trying to say that the Batman movies are like different universes or something like that because they're different actors. But I can't remember. I feel like an idiot now, but it's like, but somebody says, well, that's like saying that James Bond, Sean Connery doesn't look like, Daniel Craig. So those are different universes. But no, you just know that's James Bond. It doesn't matter who's James Bond, whether it's Roger Moore or Timothy Dalton, or it's still the same character. There's the same stories. But DC is like kind of like, well, this was a different universe, and this is the multiverse, and this is like, it's like, why? Like, they just fired Henry Cavill on his birthday.
Why?
It's like, why? Are you like retarded? Why? It's like, so whoever did that needs to be fired for firing him. I mean, it's like.
So I want to go back to the James Bond thing.
Go ahead.
And going back to the Phantom. So I really thought that 007 had the ability to be like the Phantom. Like I really, one thing I like about the Phantom is that he like lives forever because his next of kin takes on the suit of the Phantom.
Right, exactly. It's kind of like Zorro. Zorro had the same thing.
Right. But I mean, like in 007, they had that opportunity. I think not the last one or the one before that, where Yeah, it's just a number that you're giving to somebody else.
Right, just passed on. Yeah.
But they're like, no, like they go to the graveyard scene. They're like, no, my name's really James Bond. Or like, it's supposed to be the same person the whole time. You're like, what? Like, make it awesome. Like, make it like different, like actors of color or like different, like gender.
Idris Elba was supposed to play him at one point, and they scrapped that because of all the hatred that he got.
I would have totally seen that, man. He's awesome.
He's awesome. He's
badass.
really awesome. He's really awesome.
Fast and the Furious, where he was like a super soldier. He was just.
He's like Black Superman. That kept
so awesome.
Yeah.
He
I think he's a great actor. I mean, what was that name of that show that he was in on BBC? It was called Luther, was it?
Luther.
That was a great show.
Phenomenal show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and they cut that one short, a season, right? The last season didn't come out for years, you know. People waited forever for that show.
He's a likable guy. Like I want to watch him do stuff. It's like The Rock. I want to watch him do stuff. Whatever you do, just do it. I just want to watch it.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing how The Rock was like a wrestler and then became this actor, and then it's like now he's like one of the top paid or the top paid Hollywood star, which is pretty impressive. It's I think it's an amazing career that the guy's had.
The most impressive thing that I think he did, and I don't want to get into politics in the show, but he actually stood,
talk about whatever you want.
he stood behind a candidate that I believed in,
right?
And he did it I think not early on, but like midway through. And I'm just like, you know what? Like lots of times actors get criticized for their political comments, but he actually went on Instagram and he made a whole speech and he's like, vote for, I'm not going to say the candidate's name.
You can say it. I don't even know this story. Tell me.
He backed Biden and Kamala Harris right away.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. Yeah.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think someone like the number one person making box office, making decisions to try to do his viewpoint. Mm-hmm. I mean, in this case, I happen to agree with it.
Right.
But even if it was something I disagree with, he took a stand. He put himself at risk to do something he believed in.
If he backed Trump, would you still watch his movies? Would you still respect him? I gotta play with you now. See, I gotta. With that statement still standing, coming out of your mouth, if he back the opposing.
Yeah, it would definitely be something I have to think about.
Right. I think the reason why I say that is because we're talking politics. My gripe with American politics, especially elections, presidential elections, is that once upon a time, the candidate with the most money had to sponsor and pay for the other candidate with the lesser money, meaning like the independent or the Green Party person, and they got equal time on the debate stage, So you would have Ross Perot, who almost buried the Democratic and Republican Party, who made some valid statements. And then once that election was over, that rule was gone. So we don't really get, I feel that we don't really have real elections in this country, because you have on your ballot, you have all these different parties, but they don't get the TV time. The media doesn't cover them. Like the last election, they didn't cover anybody that was Green Party. They've even gone so far, CBS said that there was no Green Party candidate. Now, I voted Democrat, but I'm a Green Party member. And that's only because, I voted for Jill Stein in 2016, whatever.
Awesome.
But I mean, I've been a Republican, I've been a Democrat, and I'm now Green Party. And I was even thinking maybe I should go independent and then get into politics. But it's
I'd vote for you.
Oh, thank you. But you know what I mean? I don't think we have real elections here because we don't. The media doesn't respect these other candidates. They don't really give them equal time, and so we don't really have true representation. Like I'm not an independent, but 50% of all Americans vote independent. But they don't tell you that. They just tell you about Democrats and Republicans. But registered voters, 50% are actually independent, 25% are Democrats, and 25% are Republicans. But the media spins it that it's 50-50 Republican and Democrat, meaning that nobody else votes for these other parties, which isn't true. What is true is that independents usually have weaker candidates or they don't get television time. So independents end up voting for Republicans, and then Green Party people end up voting Democrat. So they get siphoned into those two parties because that's what they're selling you, Coke and Pepsi. But I want RC Cola. I want to know what RC Cola is doing,
Absolutely.
and I want to know what Dr. Pepper is doing, it's like, give me some variety.
I live in Brooklyn, right? And there's a guy who's standing out in the corner of my street, and he's running for mayor, and he's asking people to vote for him. And I'm just like, all right, let me see what this guy has to say. And it's just interesting listening, like when you get into smaller politics, when you get away from local politics and see how that's going, and actually getting to meet the candidates and talk and just have a discussion.
Right.
I find it really nice.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. I'm not where's my seltzer party? I don't want Coke or Pepsi. I want something caffeinated.
Right. I want cola free.
I want something without the BS. I want just, the real deal.
Exactly. I hear you. Yeah, for sure, man.
In changing politics, I really I see some let's see, we see some spirit artwork that's behind you.
Right. Yeah, I do. This is my Eisner wall. We actually did a Eisner show during the pandemic closure. So
did you really?
Yeah, I did. It was a virtual one.
Do you have any original Eisners?
I have original signatures. I have most of these are lithographs and stuff. But,
so Mocha, you remember Mocha, Museum of Comic and Cartoon Art?
I do.
I can't see you, Jerry.
I see Jerry. I'm going to bring him in a second.
Bring Jerry in.
I wanted you to end your sentence first, though. I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no! So Mocha, they did an Eisner exhibit right before Eisner passed away.
All right.
And I love Eisner, man. If you're looking at my top 5 artists of all time, just Eisner's up there in my top 5 artists / writers of all time.
I rip them off all the time.
Well, you're that good, but you're not that good.
I know. I use a lot of his backgrounds and stuff like that. Well, let's just bring in Jerry and do a little. Let's bring it. Just run it. Here we go. Jerry here. Right. We're gonna. There we go. Here's the official entry. Got Jerry Ma in the house. Honored to bring Jerry. Listen to what he has to say, all this cool stuff. He has his book called The Monkey King out, and The Monkey King is one of my favorite characters. So, without further ado or the delay, we got Jerry Ma. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Nice to meet you. I brought my Monkey King mask.
Oh, awesome! That's so cool.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm glad that Alan introduced us. And
yeah, Alan's the best, man. Seriously.
Yeah. So you also did Mocha, right? So that's our connection, I guess, right?
Me or Alan? Sorry.
Jerry.
So Jerry,
Alan said that you used to do that. So go ahead. You guys talk. I'm going to listen.
So Ray Felix is an awesome guy since he's just listening. No, Jerry used to. I met Jerry way back in the day. Him and Ken Kaduskin were over. I think they were doing a Big Apple Con or something, and I was a huge fan of Ken Kaduskin's awesome book called "My Monkey's Name Is Jennifer," and I was like,
Knudsen.
Kaduskin, in Street Fighter. No.
It's bringing back junior high school day memories.
Is he going to kill me, Jerry?
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess we met. God, I don't even know how long ago it's been now. It's been pretty long since Alan and I have known each other.
That sounds like 20 years or more, right? That's like,
And I used to go to the Mocha Fest as an artist, and Alan was always, I mean, he's been amazingly supportive since day one. Alan, you've been,
thank you.
You helped me with everything, you know? Like, Alan is so good, like, he just forces his help on you. Because, at least for me, like, I feel a little uncomfortable sometimes, like, taking help and everything, you know? And Alan, it's almost like he knows when to do that, like when to impose his will on you and when not to. And I mean, as a compliment, really, you know. But like he can kind of like sense like when someone needs a little help, and he just helps. I think that's just the way Alan is. He's just, you know, a genuinely good person. You know,
he's like that Joe Cocker song, right? A little help for my friends, right?
That's all it takes, dude. Right? Like making your friends and like just keeping in touch with them. Like just that's all you got. You got your friends, bro. That's all you can count on.
Really, and usually on one hand, right? You know.
Happy Mother's Day, fellas.
Yes,
thank you.
Mother's Day
Thank
to all the
you.
mothers.
I'm 6 months. Yeah. It's really a year and a half of pandemic, you know.
Motherhood. Jerry, are you taking your mom out tomorrow or anything?
Yeah. My girlfriend was with her all day, literally all day today, while I was working at our store, and then.
Sounds like she's working her way to your wife. Hanging out with the mom all day. Oh, you better watch out, dude. Get ready. Get that shining off that diamond. You know, it's like.
But yeah, tomorrow we got I don't know, like an late lunch, early dinner type of thing.
Awesome. That's
Ray, you
awesome.
do anything for your wife?
No. Yes, of course I am. Yeah, we're gonna go to there's a China Walk. To go China Walk, Hard Walk. Thank you, Indigo. It's like the Hard Walk buffet. We like going there. So
wait, where do you live, if you don't mind asking?
We're in Stony Point, New York, right now.
There's still. I thought the day of buffets were like.
No, not up here, man. We were talking about this earlier, Alan, off the camera. It's like, where we live, you know, this is they don't care about pandemics. This is kind of like Trump land up here, like if you're up north. So I grew up in the Bronx, lived in the Bronx for 43 years, and then moved up here to Stony Point, New York, the land that America forgot about, right? It's like, and these are, we don't have rednecks here. We have what I call blue necks. These are like northern hillbillies. So they don't believe in shutdowns and pandemics and, you know, all that stuff. And, you know, we even have the Hasidic neighborhood where they have their parties and they have their you know, they're super spreaders. They don't care. You know, so we have everyone's invincible here. You know.
That sounds terrifying.
Yes, it is. Well, actually, when LA was at its highest number, I got on a plane. I was like, I'll take my chances. It was more dangerous here than California. Yeah,
Ray used to hold Jerry Bronx Hero Con, which was phenomenal. It was I think one of my favorite small cons in the Bronx. It was held in the Bronx Public Library.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice.
And I think it really gave exposure to the public, unlike some of these other cons where they charge $15, $20 for the guests to come in before you buy anything.
Right, exactly.
And like you were giving back to the community, right? And like I remember those cons.
All the bad businessmen because of that. Because it was free admission.
No, like for me, at least, I don't know about for you guys. Like comics was a way that gave me my love of reading.
Yeah.
Like it started me out on my journey of education when I was a really young kid. How about you, Jerry? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the only book that I will read, right? But yeah, comics. I mean, for me, it was kind of the gateway drug into imagination, creativity. You know, it was, you know, at least back when I first started getting comics, you know, you could get one for like 50 cents, which I know is still in today's kind of is probably the equivalent. I don't think it's like the $4 or $5 that a comic costs nowadays, but
they're going up to $6 and $8.
Yeah, yeah. So back then it was a little more accessible, and this was also before there was video games and everything. So comics really were your true. At least for me and my brothers, that was like our true outlet to just thinking of different things. And, like we didn't grow up with cable TV or anything. It's crazy to think nowadays. Like I didn't get HBO until I think I was in college or something like that.
You should have got a wire hanger. You would have got it for free. That's how I got HBO. It was HBO and WHT. Just take the wire hanger and hang it out the window.
I mean, it might have been after college that we finally got like cable television. So up until then, we were just you live and die, you ride or die with like Channel 5.
Exactly.
And then comics, and then there were comic books, which that was the greatest thing that happened to like me and my brothers.
And remember the day, Jerry and Ray, when you used to be able to like go to like a Quick Check or like a grocery store, and your parents would they'd be like go out shopping, and you'd like hang out behind.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, yeah, take your time. I'm going to be reading all these comics,
Or even a shopping mall was a place to be if you can get to one, But it's like, that's why I like. It's funny, like all those '80s themed movies talk about the mall. Like Wonder Woman did it, Stranger Things did it, and something else recently did it. But they were like the mall. X-Men did the mall. It's like, but now the mall is like going to the cemetery.
They're gonna have to. It's interesting. It's interesting you say that because I think all these newer heroes, their ways of hanging out, the ways of humanizing them, it's gonna be by doing like Zooms.
Yeah, exactly. For real. I think that the reason what's killing comic books, honestly, the industry is the price point. They buried themselves in the 90s when they went up to from $1 to $1.25, and then $1.50, then $1.75. And let's face it, paper don't cost that much.
Well, actually, I think that's where people are wrong. Look, I don't think it's a price point. Kids are more than willing. They are begging their parents to drop $60 on a video game, $20 on a video game. So I don't think you can blame the $6 price tag. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I kind of do. I mean, I used to get like a stack of books every Friday. You spent like $20.
You used to do that, but now nobody does that anymore. Like, when's the last time anybody did that with anything?
Yeah.
But
literacy is much larger now because of it, because of the accessibility. I think illiteracy has grown in this country because a lot of younger people aren't reading because of that.
Comics they haven't made the transition to digital yet.
Right.
They don't know how. They just think if you scan in the page and stick it on the monitor, it's digital.
Right.
And then make something move. But then now it's animation.
Right.
And it's crappy animation. So you're either doing shitty animation or you're doing a shitty digital comic. They need to figure out a different medium. I don't think it's just keep doing the same thing and scan it and put it up online.
Right.
There has to be an in between.
No, you're right. That's true. It needs to be more interactive.
And they need to get like Jim Lee has to draw it. It can't just be get the intern to do it over there and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Scott McCloud?
Of
course.
Yeah.
So he did a webcomic of Zot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the girl was falling and Zot had to catch her, and you had to zoom your scrolling mouse down, and it looked like she was falling. And it's something that couldn't be told on a page, like on a flip page. Like he made it specifically digital. So it looked really cool because like you went really quickly and like the page was going down. And it was like Scott McCloud's like book on webcomics, phenomenal. I recommend reading that book over and over again. Yeah, it's a really good scholarly book.
Yeah, I met him at one of the MoCA events at the Society of Illustrators, and we were sitting next to each other eating hors d'oeuvres, like everyone. I turn around, I'm like, Scott McCloud. And I was telling him, I was like, oh man, your book's awesome. The Understanding Comics, how influential it was for me. I devoured that book, and teaching comic books, I used to always order that, and I was like, that's like the number one book. People were stealing your book more than Marvel, like more than the Hulk. Like the kids would, can I borrow this? And you never see it again. So it's like constantly reordering reordering that book, Understanding Comics, because kids loved it, even though it was black and white, even though the art was not, Captain America. They loved that book and they would swipe it all the time, So he's a genius,
So speaking of New York and Society of Illustrators, which is located at I believe 63rd and Lex, Jerry actually has a new book coming out on the Kickstarter that's actually helping benefit.
Oh, really?
Chinatown. Jerry,
you're going to say Society of Illustrators? Like, really?
No.
Yes, about Chinatown. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Well,
tell us about it, Jerry.
Yeah, so my comic, it's about the Monkey King, which is a cherished Chinese mythical character. He's the first Asian superhero, if you will. Dragon Ball is based off him.
Yeah.
There's been tons of movies and books already on him. Mm-hmm. But so I am doing the Monkey King here in Chinatown, New York. And
I think that's an awesome premise.
Rather than like picking out shinier armor and more detailed armor, he's got to choose like which Nikes look best with his hoodie.
Yeah.
It's a much more like, it's kind of a more graffiti hip hop version of the Monkey King. But
before you came on, I was showing your Kickstarter here to the public. I was sharing it, so telling people to donate. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So clearly, this book is very New York and Chinatown centric. Mm-hmm. I want to say this was back in mid-March when the shootings happened in Atlanta, Georgia, at the spa. Right. And, I think like most Asian Americans, I got pretty angry. So I went and I do a stream with Bernard Chang and Sean Chen every Tuesday night on
Sean
Twitter.
The illustrator. Oh.
Yeah. So we do it every Tuesday night, and I was just like, before the stream, like, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna just donate all the sales from my website to Stopping Asian Hate for the next 2 weeks till to the end of March.
Great cause. And
so I ended up raising like $2,500, donated it, and it was cool. You hit enter, and it's like, oh, $2,500, awesome! I feel so good. Yeah. But then 2 seconds later, you're like, it kind of feels a little hollow too, because you don't really see the money like help anyone.
Right.
So
unless you directly gave it to those businesses that were affected by it.
Correct. Exactly. So with this Kickstarter, we're trying to do something different with the stretch goals. Rather than giving people extra stickers or postcards, which I don't blame anyone for doing that. I think that stuff is great. I've done it with my past Kickstarters myself. But in light of all the racism towards Asians and the way, with the pandemic affecting all these small businesses, we just decided that, what, fuck it. We're going to give cash to small businesses. I'm literally going to be hand delivering cash to small businesses in Chinatown. So I'm going to be giving $250 to each small business, and the more successful the campaign, the more small business will give money to.
That's pretty important.
I'm literally going to be starting this coming week. I was ready to do it regardless of us hitting our goal or not, but amazingly, we hit our goal in under 48 hours. And
wow.
We've already unlocked the first 2 stretch goals, and we're pretty close to the 3rd stretch goal. I just altered the stretch goals last night so that it's easier to achieve more and so that we can give more money to more small businesses. So, it's a pretty simple thing. You back the campaign, you get the book, and then we give money to the small businesses in Chinatown, New York.
I think that's phenomenal. That's that's an unheard of thing. And this is the page here. We're sharing it. What a great cause. It is a scary time. My wife is from Taiwan, and she's terrified getting on the subway. Even before the shutdown and before Georgia and stuff, people were just randomly assaulting Asian people on the subway.
It's still happening,
And it was nuts. Yeah, it's horrible.
So, what was pretty cool, this kind of all started, Jeff Darrow, he's one of the artists, he's drawing a variant cover for this book.
Oh, wow.
And
pretty impressive.
So I was talking to Jeff on the phone, and, I'm trying to pay fair wages to everyone that's helping me out. And in fact, I'm trying to overpay them because who am I, right? They don't get any real benefits from helping me out as compared to doing a gig for Marvel or something. So I have to make up that by paying them a little extra. Right. And when I agreed with Jeff on, X amount of dollars. And then he called me and he was just like, I saw what you did and how you donate money. It's like, I've made a lot of money off the Asian culture. I think I'd rather you just donate my pay to stop Asian hate.
Right.
And I was just like, Jeff, that's pretty freaking awesome. Like, if you're really gonna offer that, then I'm gonna accept that,
Yeah.
And I was like, the only catch is though, after I donated that money, as cool as it was, like I said, it felt a little hollow. I was like, Jeff, are you okay if I just hand deliver cash to small businesses? Like, I'm gonna walk in there myself and just give them,
right.
a lot of cash.
And instead of just going into like giving it to a charity that you don't know where it's going to go, or if it's
he started laughing. He's like, "Well, they might think you're crazy, but sure." He's like, "I'm all for that."
You should record it too, like document it.
Well, then when the rest of the guys helping me out found out, a lot of them, they wanted to donate their pay as well. So now my goal is to make enough money where I can donate all this money to these. Right. Small business, but I also want to pay the guys that helped me. I'm not a freaking jackass,
Yeah, of course.
So like even Alan didn't want any money. And he's like, no, just give it to small businesses. So NY1 News here in New York caught wind of our doing this.
Right.
And, Roger Clark, I hate to put pressure on him, but he did agree that he wants to follow me around.
Right.
To because as an Asian American, we could use a feel-good story, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, and I actually asked Roger if he did come around with me, it would kind of legitimize me, so they don't think I'm some like just wacko that's like coming in and trying to do something.
You're an artist, right? Or you're a writer, you're a creator, or something. We are a little crazy. That is an outrageous, crazy idea, but it's a brilliant, crazy idea,
if Roger comes too, then it's kind of a double whammy in a good way, because not only will we be able to give him a little bit of money, obviously $250 isn't saving any business, but what I like to think is
one hell of a red envelope though, right?
Yeah, of course. I got all these red envelopes ready to go, but what we think is the money could represent a little bit of hope, that they're not forgotten. And then if Roger does come with us, we'll get to speak to the public about these businesses, hopefully bring a little light to them, and ideally drum up some business for them as well.
Right. And not only that, but you never know. You might get someone to co-sponsor based on that outpouring. You might have other people. You might be starting a domino effect of knocking over one domino and saying, here, we're going to, and you don't know who hears about that, and with it being aired, you don't know if other people who are more affluent, who have the same feeling as you, want to do the same thing, and you might just start a trend.
I hope so.
That would revitalize, you know what I mean? So I mean, God bless you, man. That's such a great cause to help your culture, your people, your community, your city, right? That is pretty damn amazing, So, hats off to you on that.
I mean, Ray, seriously, thank you for helping us spread the word by doing this. This is everything. It means everything to us,
Yeah. I mean, that is really, I'm really like heartfelt touched, because I'm at the point where, I keep telling my wife, I think you need to quit your job. Stop going to the city. It's too dangerous, 9/11 was one thing, and living in the city through that. And there was a lot of racism towards Asians during that time too, and then Arab people as well. I remember that if you didn't want to wear an American flag pin, people would want to assault you or judge you, or and then you have all these like bombers, like like in the Grand Central Station that happened a few years back. My wife missed that by 10 minutes. Like literally, she would literally just left the tunnel, was about to exit and then the boom happened. It's like too many close calls. Then the city is not a safe place. And then this assault. Now, I mean, I grew up in New York, in the Bronx, so people hating on Asians is not new. They were always targeted. I remember a guy just randomly punched the laundry lady in the face for no reason. They were Korean. The Chinese place was always getting robbed by the locals in the neighborhood. It's disrespect. and it was because Asians have this reputation for being humble, not wanting to cause trouble, not call the police, to remain low key, and enough is enough.
Well, I mean, what's making it really frustrating as an Asian American is like, I mean, I'm no tough guy, but you want to pick a fight. Why don't you pick a fight with me? Why are you picking a fight with my mom?
Right. Why pick elderly people? Yeah.
Like that's like
it's cowardly.
If you're so tough, then hey, come after me. Seriously, right. I'm more than happy. I'm looking forward to it. Bring it on. Like, pick a fight with me.
Exactly, and they're attacking women mostly, which is crazy.
It's either women or the elderly. Yeah, that's
exactly
really tough of you. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's scummy. Let's throw Alan back in here. So,
you have a story that you've told me about. After you got vaccinated, do you want to tell the story about the train?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's. So, I got my vaccination shots in the Bronx. And so my second shot was at nighttime. I think I got out around 9 p.m. or something like that, which isn't that late. Normally it's not late, but, nowadays that's kind of late, right? Because
like the
train closed earlier and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm on the subway. It's at 9 p.m. I'm like 2 blocks away from the 149th Street Concourse, stop. So that's where I gotta switch my trains and everything.
Right.
And as I'm on the train, then 2 stops away, doors open, 4 guys come in. It's like I hate saying this. I don't want to pick on any culture.
Just say it. But, listen, I'm from the Bronx. We're not gonna take any offense. Yeah. We know what we are.
It's like these 4 guys, they're all over 6 feet tall. They're probably 250, 280 pounds. Each one of them ripped me in half, easily. There's 3 Dominican guys and 1 black dude. The black dude's the biggest one of the 4.
Right.
So they sit right in front of me. I'm just I kind of got a bad feeling about this, Then an older black lady comes onto the train and there's no seats. So I just, I just get up. I'm like, oh, hey, why don't you take my seat? And she's like, oh, thank you so much. It's so nice. No one ever does this, And as she's thanking me, she's being really overly grateful, which was really nice of her. But of course, the 4 guys sitting across from me, the 3 Dominican guys, was like, oh, you're so welcome. They're trying to make fun of the Asian voice. And I'm just standing there. I'm like, man, I'm just giving my seat to this lady. Now I already know, I can't not say anything. Because if I don't say anything, they're just gonna keep doing that shit to the next Asian person that comes on. Right. So I'm about to get my ass kicked on principles.
Right. Well,
I was like, fuck.
That's what heroes do.
Right? I turn around and I'm literally just ready to I don't even think I'm gonna say anything. I'm already going through my head. I'm just gonna fucking hit the first guy. Because I know they're gonna fuck me up, but I'm gonna get the first guy good. And then the biggest guy, the black guy, just
a true New Yorker.
the biggest of the 4, the black guy, just looked at him. He's like, guys, he's just like, guys, what are you doing? And then they kind of stopped. So thank God that happened, because
the voice of reason came out of it.
Yeah, I'm just like what the fuck? I'm just trying to help out,
Right. Yeah,
it shows what good person you are.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to just throw a punch at a guy 3 times my size without saying it.
Hey, you know what? If you did it, they would have backed off. Trust me. I'd say go for the tallest one. The rest of them will be
honestly, that was my I was like, just hit the biggest one and hit him square in the nose so it bursts open with blood, right?
Right.
Once they see the blood, they might actually chill a little bit.
He hit him. He didn't go for Squiggy, the littlest guy.
Here's the secret tip to fight. You can hit, as long as you hit someone square in the nose, it might not even hurt that much, but blood is going to come out.
Yeah.
So if you got 1 punch, and you're gonna lose a fight no matter what, just hit him square in the nose. Yeah. Hopefully the blood's gonna scare everyone off.
Or punch him in the throat. You punch him in the throat, he won't be able to breathe or hit you back. So
see that I feel like if you do that, then his boys might, in defense of him, whoop your ass.
Ray, Jerry, I'm sorry I ever say anything bad about you. I don't want to be punched in the throat or in the nose. I love you. When I see you in person, I'm gonna give you hugs.
Sorry, that's my Bronx mentality is coming back. Hit him in the soft spots. Hit him in the eye. Hit him in the nose. Kick him in the joints. Get him on the ground.
But Alan, I was so pissed off that day. After I spoke to Alan, he talked me off the cliff, and he was just like, "Look, just focus on the good part of that story, which is the dude actually stood up for you."
Well, I do believe that, Jerry, people like you, I think us as New Yorkers, granted, I grew up in Jersey. I've spent from the time I was 20 on, right now I'm 46, I think, or somewhere in the 40s. I lost count. But in the city, I think it just takes one person to step up, to do the right thing, and hopefully the rest will follow by example.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, hopefully this Kickstarter can be what we're doing now.
Starting.
Well, okay. Trying to get back to a more positive thing here.
No, that's a New York story, and people don't know. People who never came to New York or never grew up in New York, they don't know. Those are some of the things that just comes with the territory of growing up in New York.
Yeah, it is.
That's just the way it is. It's that's the melting pot, right? The melting pot is it's a rough place. It's like the schoolyard. It's
again, I trying to focus on the positive, because I do think you got to focus on the positive energy.
Absolutely, sure.
I am really looking forward to, because like I said, this coming week we're going to start giving some money back to the small business in Chinatown, and I can't wait to explain to all these businesses that a fucking comic book is giving them this money. I think it's going to be the coolest.
Is going to actually give you $250.
and you're actually going to start something. You're lighting the match. You're lighting the fuse for something bigger that's going to only grow and inspire more people. And this is just the beginning for you, because guess what? You're making a change. You're affecting change through comics to the world.
Look, it's
not
not
impressive.
It's not. Probably everyone says stuff like this, but it's not about me at all. I've been telling Alan, there's no way I could have gotten this far without Alan, and I mean that with all sincerity. It's as cliche as it sounds, it does take a village, right? One single person ain't going to do too much on their own. I learned that by donating the money on the website. I tried to do it by myself. I raised some money. It wasn't that much money, but it was as much as I could do. Hit click and whatever, man. After I hit enter, I think the second I hit that, an Asian person got their ass kicked. My money went into the internet oblivion. I don't even know where it went. For all I know, it went to a racist. And this is the only way to ensure you actually see the money go to the people that need it. My family, we have a small business ourselves in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. We have an art supply store called Janos, and we're struggling. We don't have a full staff. We're barely making it through this, if we make it through this.
Right.
And this, the city's always saying, "Oh, we're giving money to small businesses. We're doing this and that." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I have a small business. We haven't gotten shit."
Right. Exactly.
What aid are we getting? I don't understand. Someone please explain to me.
Right. Exactly. That doesn't translate,
It's part of the reason why I just want to go straight to these businesses and just remind them that they're not forgotten.
Jerry, what's the first store you're going to go into?
I'm thinking about the ice cream factory in Chinatown, just because I grew up eating that ice cream. I love it. And I just, I have this idea of just going there and buying one scoop of ice cream for $3 or whatever it costs, and just giving them $253 to only keep I can't wait.
That's awesome. You got to put that on TikTok and all the streaming services.
No, I'm not doing any of that stuff. I do know I have to take a picture with these people so that all my backers understand that I really am donating the money. But I don't want I could freaking care less if people think it's cool that I'm doing it.
No, it's not about being cool. It's about spreading a message that people can identify with. Again,
let me change that. I don't care if they think I'm cool for doing it. I hope they think this is cool, so that they might do it themselves.
Right. What I'm saying, it's not for self-gratification. It's to inspire and to create a ripple effect. You don't want to be, you don't want to be the small stone that makes a small ripple. You want to be a boulder that hits the water and, creates a tsunami. And I think that if you do, the more you advertise it and promote this as an event, like, hey, I'm helping the community. And again, it's not about you, it's about helping others. I think that you will inspire others of like minds to do the same thing.
And, this kind of came too, because I've never been known as like a very strategically thought out person. I'm kind of emotional with the way I make my decisions.
Right.
So, as an indie comic creator, each comic you do can be your last, because who knows, like, maybe nobody cares. Maybe, real life, you have to, there's bills to pay. So if this is going to be my last comic, then I'm going out swinging. Like I genuinely mean that. Like, it's going to be exactly how I want it to be.
Exactly. You're swinging big, dude. I mean, you changed your Kickstarter, your stretch goals, so more money goes to the community. So it takes less money on the stretch goals to go to more people.
Yeah, so I did alter my stretch goals last night, because I was looking at it, I was like, the way it's set up, I might not even reach all that many of these, these tiers. So let me make it easier. So I just threw in some more and made it easier. So this way, Alan knows this. Like I said, whether I hit my goal or not, I was going to be donating some money. And then I realized this is the beauty of Kickstarter, right? I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. So if I decide I'm going to give money to Chinatown, I'm going to give money to Chinatown. So I've already kind of have a number in my mind that whether I hit the stretch goals or not, I'm going to be giving out, this amount of money.
Right.
Ideally, I get the stretch goals can help me out a little bit. I'm not paying this all out of my own pocket,
Right.
But, I'm absolutely going to be giving regardless. So hopefully, I'm still trying to make a comic. I would like the book to be successful as well. It's part of who I am. It is very much about Chinatown, New York. It's the Chinatown that I grew up loving. And I hope I can share that with everyone. And by sharing it with everyone, hopefully we can give back to the community that I'm trying to share with everyone.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how I learned how to eat with chopsticks, was as a teenager working downtown and eating in Chinatown at lunch all the time. I mean, I used to work on Chambers Street and walk all the way down to Chinatown. And that was, that was kind of my introduction to Asian culture, besides learning martial arts as a young kid in the Bronx and getting private lessons. That was really, an eye opener. That's part of New York. I mean, that Chinatown's been there. It's old as New York. It's been there forever.
To my knowledge, it is the largest Chinatown in America, right?
Yeah. It's everything, it literally enveloped Little Italy, where Little Italy is like two little streets. It's like, and then you have gentrification happening there, which is also detrimental to the community there, where they're building these really expensive apartments and expensive this and that. And those people aren't really contributing to the neighborhood. Those hotels aren't contributing. They're taking money away from the community.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of challenges. You have racism. You have, these giant corporations moving in there with expensive real estate, trying to push the people who have been there for generations out. You got these greedy landlords that are raising their rents to the point where they can't even keep their businesses. People raise families there on those businesses. People survive on those things, and we need more people like you, Jerry. To
don't forget Alan.
Alan.
I would say this, right, on your note. Both you, Ray, and you, Jerry, are using your love of comic books as a tool, as a resource to help your fellow communities. And that's what I love about both of you. Like,
thank you,
Ray. Like you did Bronx before. We were talking about how much I enjoyed Bronx Hero Cons. I mean, you're wearing a shirt, Bronx Heroes. Like when the pandemic started, I'm like, I got to pick up a Bronx Heroes comic book. I mean, like, you're helping the Bronx out. Jerry, you're helping Chinatown. I mean, like, these are little steps, like using things that you love to help your communities. Like, since COVID started, I stopped buying my comic books from Amazon, and I find local comic book shops to buy comic books from, because
it's so important to do that.
Like helping your community, and comic books, at least for me, and I know for you and Ray, and for you, Jerry, the comic books are your community, and that's what you're using to make your community better. Exactly.
But thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate that. I mean, you guys are awesome.
You're awesome.
I would love to have you on again after your campaign, so we could you could tell us the results, like what happened, like oh, it was totally fucked up, well, it should be tell us how great it was, it's like
like I do want to. There's this old lady on Moscow Street, and she makes fried dumplings. It's just one old lady in there making fried dumplings all day long. And like I know she ain't getting no like city aid or any relief from it.
Of course.
And I don't think she speaks English. So like I want to go there and buy, like, she sells like 5 dumplings at a time. I want to buy 5 dumplings and give her $250. And I know she's gonna look at me like I got hit in the head right before I walked in there.
If you robbed the bank, don't take it. No, you keep it. You keep it.
And like my Chinese is terrible, so like I gotta find someone that can like talk to her and let her know like he's not stupid.
Right. Exactly. I'm trying to figure out how to go on Instagram Live and stuff. So maybe we could go ahead and I'd love to have you on Instagram Live as well, and we could probably promote this even further. If you're into that, I don't know.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean,
I just got to figure it out.
To help, then
yeah,
with all the help we can get.
Yeah, exactly. Just to get the word out, let people know what you're doing.
Hey Ray, can we play the video before we leave? Like show everyone a little taste of what Jerry has.
Yeah.
So they could follow it on.
But we can cut out the part where I talk at the end, because I really hate seeing myself.
Look at that Shane Punim. Look at that Shane Punim.
Let me go back to your it was Twitter, right? It was your Twitter page.
No, go to Kickstarter and look up Jerry Ma, dude.
Oh yeah, I kind of cheated. I went through his Twitter.
Anyway,
I didn't click the link. I was like, I have the page here. Yeah, I mean, unless Jerry, you have it up, you want to share it with us, or let me see. I don't know if that's possible. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me shut up.
You have.
Let me just shut up before Oh, this is what I did. I just typed in your name, and then I put in the Kickstarter, and then your thing came up. Yeah, man. There we go. And
Alan worked on this video, and he did it. He's amazing. He's been great.
Alan is
you're gonna give me a swollen head. Look, this is all about Jerry Ma and the Kickstarter,
right? Can you guys see that? You can see that?
Yeah. Wait, this is the old one. No, this is the wrong one.
This is the old one.
Oh, old one, which was still pretty awesome.
Hey, I put
there, Lucky King. So this is it. This is the page. Here we are again. We got the story. You got a video here. Where's the video at? Let's see. Where's it? Back this project. Where were I?
Right in the middle.
With the play button. Here we go. Let's full screen this baby. Beautiful. I love it. This looks fantastic. Sandy, Pigsy. Very cool. I love that black line. You got to tell me how you did this little animation now. Was that Adobe? Was that Adobe Animate?
That's all Alan.
Pretty cool. The artwork is amazing. You're a really amazing graphic designer, too. I mean, look at the details. I'm jealous.
Look at that coloring. I mean,
it's really phenomenal. Look at that. Great stuff. And the logo is great.
A new take on the Monkey King. One where which pair of sneakers you wear is more important than which piece of armor. Chinatown, New York has fallen apart.
I know you say you hate yourself, but this is important. This is important.
Find the Monkey King, Pixie, and Sandy. Make the journey west to Chinatown, San Francisco to find enlightenment, and then head back to New York to save Chinatown from itself.
And it's all
This
digital?
concept actually began back in
No, the artwork is done on crystal paper, and I color it digitally.
We've also got some amazing variant covers by comic heavy hitters Jim Chung and Jeff Darrow as well.
Nice.
Most Monkey King reboots focus on violence and action. I wanted to show the magic and adventure that's been forgotten over the years. Join our adventurers as they try to save Chinatown, New York, and they just might discover more about themselves as well. We've also got some unique stretch goals that will help give back to the Chinatown community. Hi, my name is Jerry Ma. This is my modernized version of Monkey King. I'm hoping this is just the first step of many to come. And with your help, we can bring the Monkey King to life. Cheers.
Cheers. Beautiful. I love it. David Soto did the logo. That's great.
Yeah, David's a good friend. We used to work together actually a long time ago. And I think David is, without a doubt, like one of the best, if not the best, typography artists out there. People don't realize they see his work all over the world. They've been fanboying over his stuff without realizing it. You know, he's amazing.
Yeah, that's a great logo. And Alan, that was a great video. What did you use? Adobe Animate or what? What did you?
I fudged it together, dude.
Good. I like the way that black line went behind the art. That was pretty neat. That was pretty cool.
Anytime you want tips, let me know. Gary, I want to say that I want the Monkey King logo on a shirt. It looks.
I think that'd be a great shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some. I think just to give away because I think it's like I gotta get David's permission too. He made the logo.
Of course, yeah. I love that Shay Shay shirt you got there, man. It's pretty cool. You have that in kid sizes, so I get one for my son.
I could make it, kids. I'm going to be making some more of them. So if you want, I can make one specifically for your son.
All right, yeah. All right, cool deal. Me, I need probably like a double X. I don't know. But my kid, yeah, I love that shirt.
And dudes, don't forget to check out Epic Props. They sell all kinds of shirts, like really like dope shirts. Jerry's a graphic designer.
Yeah, the website.
These shirts are phenomenal.
Yeah, I was showing off the website when if you want to watch this video later, you'll see. Before we brought you on, I was showing off your stuff.
Dude, Walter Simonson is doing a cover now, right? Like
no. I didn't want to bug Walt too much. He did a cover. Actually, he did a
nice.
He did this cover for my first Kickstarter books.
Nice.
So Walt's he's been a giant influence on me in more ways than just art and stuff. I get the honor and pleasure of like talking to Walt maybe like once every 2 weeks.
Nice. Him and his wife were powerhouses in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. Luis and Walt, they're amazing people.
Yeah.
And Walt, I didn't, if I would have asked him for a cover, I know he would do it because that's just who he is.
Right.
I just can't. Especially, we've hit our goal. I don't want to. If I needed him, then I would ask him. But
save that for when you relaunch it again, because I think this is the beginning. I don't think this is the end. I think this is the beginning for you for this. I think this is gonna be successful. The outcome's gonna be great, and you're gonna want to do it again and again and again and again until they put the eviction notice on your door, and then. And then you bring your pillow and your blankets to the restaurant. Like, hey, remember me? Can I sleep in the corner in the back storeroom there? But honestly, I think that what you're doing is phenomenal. Nobody does this in the comic book industry, and I think that we need more guys like you out there to do that. And you're a force of inspiration without a doubt.
Well, thanks. I mean, it's just look. I don't even want to hear stuff like that. It just makes me feel weird. It's just I'm just trying to do what I can do.
No, you can dream about me later. No.
I've got amazing people like Alan helping me, and Alan's the one that motivates me. And,
right now,
we all just do what we do.
Alan's a big heart, and I'm just meeting you, and I can see that you're genuine. I mean, you're ready to kick ass in the Bronx. I mean, that's a lot. It's like you're not a wuss. So I much respect to you. And tell us, guys, where can we find you online? Both of you guys, because you guys are pretty cool. People should support everything that you do.
Well, Alan, do you want to start or?
I really don't have much of an online presence. Like I really like helping people in the comics community.
Yeah. And
I really like supporting comic books. So for me, go to your local comic book shop, say F you to Amazon, go to your Forbidden Planets, like wherever you're at, find your local comic book shop, buy your $6 graphic novels or $12 graphic novels, support your local cons when they come back, and help your community. Be more like Jerry and more like Ray.
I don't know if they want to be like me. You make a lot of enemies. It's like,
Ray, you're a sweetheart, dude. You're so nice.
I know. Yeah, but I'm the guy that people love to hate after a while. Just hang out with me a few more times, if you know. Just
I have the story how Ray and I met, but I can't say it online. How I met Ray and what we used to do when we first started hanging out, but it's not good for television. So Jerry, where can they find you, dude? Like, hit your website and your Kickstarter and.
It should be. Hopefully, it's pretty easy. The website's epicprops.com. My Twitter and Instagram is both Epic Props, but I'm much more active on Instagram, if anything.
Yeah.
But the Kickstarter, just if you go to Kickstarter.com and do a search for the Monkey King, ideally it'll show up. It'll be the one that was funded in under 48 hours.
That's amazing. That's really
It was the one that became a project Kickstarter loved in about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I would love to pick your ear about your Kickstarter, strategies as well.
Camera. So this is my third Kickstarter, and I never really cared because honestly, I'm kind of internet dumb. I'm not very good with social media or any of that stuff.
Right.
I did Legends book 1 and 2 through Kickstarter, and they were funded. The first one was more successful than the second, and then this time around, I was like, maybe I should get some help. Maybe I should ask for a little advice. So I asked my friends. They did the martial arts film Paper Tigers, and Michael Velasquez and Alan Dong. They're both producers on it. Right. And I just asked them for a couple tips, thinking they were just going to kind of like tell me, post it on Instagram and just tell me the same stuff.
Right.
They hit me over the head with I was like, you guys should be like teaching a course.
Yeah, that's great.
And it was pretty amazing. That being said, I haven't done too much of what they said because it takes a lot of work to do that.
Yeah, it's like a full-time job, right? Like just doing that.
But I did learn a lot this time around, a lot more. And also, Lisa Wu, she helped me with a press release. And she's done some of the marketing for me and gotten me on some comic websites. And Alan has also done that as well. So more than ever, I've always been afraid to ask for help. And this time I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to try ask for help and see what happens. And the day that the campaign was going to launch, I actually thought about delaying it by a couple of days because me and my friends, I hate to say this, I'm not looking for any sympathy or anything, but I am friends with John Paul Leon. So he had passed away on Sunday morning.
That's hard to hear.
And so, my friend Bernard Chang and Tommy Lee Edwards, they were out there with him, and they started a GoFundMe for his daughter's college fund.
Right.
And it felt a little selfish of me to launch my Kickstarter rather than tell people about the GoFundMe to help raise money for his daughter. And I was talking with my friend Ken Knutson. Right as I was about to hit the launch, I told him, I think I should stop. I don't think I should launch it, And Ken was just like, I don't think that's what John Paul would want you to do,
Right.
He probably wants you to go be successful, So that's how it happened. I was really like this close to not doing it,
Wow.
But John was a very
thank God that you did.
Yeah, John Paul. I mean, this is John Paul. Again, I don't want to turn this into the sob story about John Paul now, but he was. I mean, he's a master, and the only thing bigger than his talent was him as a person. Right. He was literally just like a couple weeks ago writing to me on Facebook saying how much he likes my artwork nowadays, and it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Let's talk about something else,
But that's how he's remembered. That's how he lives on in our memories, Jerry.
Yeah. He will live forever through his work because he is, it's a shame. I don't think enough people realize exactly how good he was. Right. I mean, he is an unbelievable artist.
Right.
And I actually had the privilege of having one of his drawings in my book. Wow, John Paul Leon. He's the freaking man.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Awesome. You just a couple of weeks ago do a Batman story that just got published.
Yes, with Scott Wilson, who is a good friend as well. That story was published digitally, never on paper for some strange reason.
Was he the same guy who was part of Milestone back in the day? Was he part of the Milestone?
John Paul.
Yeah.
John Paul was one of the founding artists for Milestone.
Yeah, for Milestone.
He drew Static. He also he started working in comics when he was 19 years old, going to college.
The name rings a bell.
He did Earth X. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. That'll ring a bell.
With Alex Ross. Yeah, the covers for that.
Yeah, he did the Cyclops and Phoenix miniseries. He did this Logan one shot back in the day, which still blows my head off. His work is just, I mean, it's the Winterman. He's done so many projects that are just so freaking. I mean, people don't realize he's battling cancer for, I think it was 15 years. So and if you look at his body of work, he was just churning out comics with cancer. Like, people need to, every once in a while when you complain about your life, and you think you got it hard,
Exactly.
John Paul Leon is just, he's a beast. The guy's, he's amazing.
And a big heart. Like, not only working, but being like a kind person from like the story that you've told me, Jerry.
Wow. Well, rest in peace.
Amen.
Yeah. A lot of greats. We lost a lot of greats this year. I lost like 8 people that I knew that were
sorry.
Hard. Hey, but that's life, right? It's not the end, it's the beginning. This is just a vessel. And once, we're energy. And when this expires, there's something else. And we don't know what it is until we get there. So
I will tell you that COVID taught me one thing. And that one thing was to keep my friends really close. I really felt myself getting closer to my friends in isolation. I'm like, I need them in my life. So like
photograph of you under my pillow,
like I started like a virtual D&D once a week. My other friends and we do like a book club once a month. And it showed me how much I need people in my life. And
absolutely,
Ray and Jerry, I'm so glad we could connect today. Like, this is like such a positive thing. Jerry, Ray, I love your podcast.
Thank you.
Your Kickstarter is phenomenal. Like, I can't.
It would be better if I was more organized about it. But it's like, but yeah.
No, it's like you both are doing phenomenal things, and you both deserve like a round of applause because you both are great dudes.
It is our Kickstarter. Stop saying it is mine. It is our Kickstarter.
Our Kickstarter. I apologize.
I think it's a great thing that both of you guys are doing. If you want someone to help you volunteer, hand out that cash. I'm there, It's like,
what's up with that guy, Jerry?
Yeah. No, I'm seriously, if you need like a video guy to shoot you guys while you're handing it out or whatever, hey, I would love to volunteer and help out, so to say the word.
I mean, the whole video thing, seems a little too egotistical.
Or just to be there, like I would love to bring my son with me to show him you guys doing that,
I mean, that would be
a good example for kids to see that, and
absolutely,
honestly, if you really want to know, I'll give you a heads up before we pick the day. I'm pretty sure it's going to be this coming Friday that we're just going to start going to Chinatown and giving out cash and being weirdos that are giving out cash to people.
No. You're already weirdos. The giving out cash part is just like
make sure you have a security guard with you. You don't want to get jumped or assaulted for your money, Make sure you have a bouncer, a mobile bouncer with you, So you don't want to. Someone's like, "Hey, that guy's giving out cash," and like, "Yo, what you got? What you got there? What you got there?" You gotta make sure you have some.
I'm not going to be afraid when I'm in Chinatown. Those are my people.
He's still in New York. So that being said, thank you so much for being on here. I would love to have you on again. Like I said, if any way I can help, just say the word. I'd love to be there.
Thank you, man.
I think young people, my son's, Asian, he's part Asian, even though it says he's 100% Chinese, he denounces his Hispanic heritage. But I mean, it's like, I think it would be a good example for young people to see older people doing good things for the community. And you know, if you need a hand, I'll volunteer as well. So just
I hold you to that, Ray. Be careful.
what's that?
I hold you to that, man. Be careful.
Hold it to me. Do it. You know. So yeah. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Stay behind. Don't hang up. I'm just going to end this broadcast.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Yeah,
support
so
this
much,
man.
everybody.
Support these guys, Alan and Jerry. These are the guys that you should look up to. These are the heroes that we need in New York at this time. Stay safe. Stay strong. Stay COVID free. You know. So take care.